Hello, hello, everybody. This is Sab in Paris. Just getting myself organized here. And it's the Mystery Monday on Tuesday. How about that? I look something like this. And sorry about it not going out yesterday, but technical difficulties. And we're going to get right into it. And we're going to look at some photographs which you sent in for this week's theme, which was the steps. And my goodness, so many people sent in so many fantastic pictures. It was really good. And we've also got a special guest this week. Yeah, we've got someone who has decided to be in the studio with me. Poor person. And can I find her somewhere? And I'm just seeing that this is working, so I'm going to get rid of me on my other screen. Right, Nazanin, come on in. Hello there.
Hi. Hi, Sab.
Hi, how are you doing?
Very fine, thank you.
Good, right. Are we better like that or we better like that? Oh, that's quite good, isn't it? So Nazanin, tell me a little bit about yourself and thank you for coming into the studio with me. Where are you from?
I'm glad I made it. I'm glad I made it because last time I couldn't get into the Zoom, so this time it was easier. And it's the first time. I don't know exactly how it's going to work. You're going to discuss some of the photos that we've sent you with the messenger. Is that it?
So what it is today, it's a little bit confusing for some people, including me, because I've got my mastermind group, which is happening in one part of my head, and I've got my normal smartphone photography group for everybody, which is happening in the other. And this is the the regular Monday on a Tuesday. Live. It's a Facebook Live where we talk about the week's theme. Okay, and the week's theme was steps, and I think it was suggested by Iskra. I'm not quite sure. We've got comments coming in as well. So we've got Dorothy saying hello, Dorothy. Thanks for joining us. And well, actually, just before I launch in, I'm just going to remind you of a couple of things. So let me have a look at. I'm going to bring in my screen here. So this is what we're going to look at, Mystery Monday. I did want to remind you, though, that I don't normally talk about my photographs in the group, but every single day I publish a photograph of Paris. So feel free to have a look at my photographs of Paris, which you can find here. It's parissetmefree.com. And they're all taken on smartphones. And it's, you know, I try to make them as good as I can. It's my passion, it's more than a hobby. I wouldn't say it's my life, but it's not far off. So every single day, I don't put them in the group because otherwise I'll be drowning people in my photographs. But it's there, okay? It's there for everybody. So if you do want to...
I love your prose stuff. Your prose is wonderful. So poetic. The prose, your words, they're fantastic. They're great.
You see, I brought her in specially just to say nice things about me. As soon as she says something nasty, boom, she's gone. So thank you. That's very, very sweet of you. Yeah. So if anybody does want daily inspiration, hoping that they will get some inspiration from my photographs, it's every day, and it's actually on in my Facebook page as well. So if you click on my little icon anywhere, you'll go to the Facebook page and you'll see my stuff every day. And on the website, Paris Set Me Free, I arrange it in 3x3, and I do a teaser. This is the teaser. So all of the 9 photographs of the week are hidden kind of behind a black screen, but you can kind of see through it, and there's hints of what the photographs are coming. And then as they are published, I put them here, and for any of them you just click and it gets big. And you know, so any that you like. You see, I do different techniques. I can go from very dark to very light. It can be very crowded, like a shop window, or it can be very abstract, like this was actually rushing through, believe it or not, a ghost station in Paris. There are ghost stations, and this was rushing through one. And it could be architecture. This is actually this week's chapter in my When Lady Eiffel Smiles. It could be architecture, it could be black and white, it could be dominated by patterns, or it could be, you know, completely crazy abstract, like that ghost station. Here's another one. It could be funny, well, kind of funny, like this little doggy you see. There's a dog walking around with, it was in the rain, and he had this, it's cute, huh? I tell you, I can't tell you how difficult it was to get this shot. because when I saw the lady and the dog, they passed me. I mean, they were coming the other direction. And this lovely dog with these sunglasses type things, but they'd gone past me. That was it. So I thought, oh, well, never mind. That would have made a nice photograph. And then I thought, wait a minute, are you a photographer, a street photographer of Paris or not? So I then spent the next half hour trying to discreetly chase this woman and her dog to get a shot without them realizing I was taking a shot, because I don't want people to know. They were going back and forth. It was in the rain. My smartphone was soaking wet. Oh, anyway, that's what I managed. And this is similar to one I took with you, Nazanin, a long time ago. Do you remember?
Yeah, I didn't remember you taking this photo. It was great.
Yeah, that isn't you, of course. That's a recent one, but
yeah, that's another one. But the other one, I recognized my hands and my pullover and the book.
That's right. Yeah.
And we had a great afternoon tea at the
Iranian. An Iranian. Yeah, you showed me an Iranian quarter in Paris.
Yes, 15th Avenue neighborhood. Yes.
Yeah, which I didn't even know existed. Yeah, so there's kind of it's not exactly a still life, but it's like it's a moment in a life in a Parisian cafe. And actually, I think in the words, all of my photographs have words.
That's where you said that there wasn't any cup, any saucer, so you had to put your cup on the thing that you put money on. You know, yes, I read the.
You've been doing your homework. I'm amazed. Yeah. So some of my texts can be deep and meaningful and existential. Sometimes they're a load of old rubbish, and sometimes they're just describing the photograph. And that one, I thought it was quite interesting because, so basically, without you needing to read it, everybody who's watching, the mug came. You know, it's an expensive cup of coffee in the middle of Paris. And it came without a saucer. You know, there you go, bam, slammed it down. And fair enough. And then, of course, the person I was with got a cup and saucer. But then I thought, all right, well, look, it's white and then it's red. And then he brought the bill, and it was on a lovely bright red, well, not lovely, a plastic red saucer thing with a white bill. So I thought, okay, white, top of the mug, red onto the mug, white of the bill, red of the thing. Then my friend picked up the menu, and I suddenly realized that I should make this bigger. Why am I? Then I suddenly realized, wait a minute, there's red, exactly the same red there, and there's a white there. And I was thinking, this is good, because repetition is one of the strongest elements, you know, of photographs. It's some sort of repetition. And then I looked down at the newspaper that was sitting on the table, and we've got a red boxes with big white writing. So in the end, there was a repetition, four repetitions of red and white next to each other, and the same red and white. So that was kind of cool. And what happens is these things happen. You can't predict them, but they will happen if you're open to it. You know, if you're there, you're ready, you're not surprised. If you start to see things, they will come. So there you go. Yeah. So just tell me, Nazanin, which do you think? What style do you prefer, if any, out of these? Because there's a big lot of styles here.
There are 9 of them, aren't there? 9.
9 photographs. What sort of style of photograph? Do you have a preference?
What's that? Actually, mine are very natural. I don't do any special effects or anything. So I like the one with the dog. I like it a lot. I don't have anything sophisticated on my photos, so I just take what I see as it is. I don't do anything extra. But yes, you have to choose the angle, and you had a hard time choosing the angle for the dog, and that's not very easy. I like that dog one, and the one the 6th one to the right, because of the movement that it's
this one here.
Yes, that it communicates the movement. When you say ghost, a ghost station, what does that mean? A ghost station?
Well, it actually means that it's a station that used to exist, but then they closed it because it wasn't being used enough. And
so how did you get into it?
Well, you don't get into it; you go through it. The train goes through it, but it doesn't stop. But you can see the remains of the platform and the walls as you go through, if you know where to look.
You were in the train then? Or you were
just in the train, yeah. There's very few of the several ghost stations that you can actually see, but this is one of them, if you know where to look.
The movement is great.
And this wasn't a ghost station. This was actually just well, it is from a train, but it's not one of those ghost stations. It was funny because I wanted a shot of there's this sort of mysterious door in the middle of these train tracks in the wall.
Yes.
And there's these two white guys on green running towards them. So it's a fire escape hatch. And it was really funny. It was really good. I've always wanted to get a shot, but the shot that I got was absolutely terrible, completely blurred. So then I thought, okay, it gets to a point where it's so blurred, you think, this is actually a good subject for an abstract photograph. So I turned it abstract. You can see them. You see this guy running here?
Yes, sure. So it was blurred from the beginning. You didn't do anything to blurify it, no?
I might have super blurred it, made it even more blurry. But yeah, it was so blurry that I thought it can't be a standard photograph, but could it be an abstract? And then I had this other abstract, which was waiting to be published as well. And I thought, great, I'll put them together.
Lovely.
Yeah. So the thing with street photography is you just go and you see what the streets offer you. You can see the difference in my styles here. I don't have any preferences.
And I agree with you that it's very difficult to take photos of people because it's very indiscreet. And how did you manage finding? Did the lady find out that you were taking the photo, or?
No. Well, the great thing with smartphones is you can pretend that you're on the phone.
Oh no, because of the angle isn't.
Well, you have to practice, you see. So the wonderful thing with a smartphone, which is one of the main reasons why I moved over from a big fancy camera, excuse me, to which is obviously, hey, there's a guy with a camera, to a smartphone, is because I could take photographs anywhere and everywhere, and no one knew. All you have to do is pretend you're on the phone, but you've got your finger, is ready to take the photograph, and you're, oh, blah 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 blah, click 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 click.
Suddenly. Yeah. Well, I wrote about my Yashica phone, the old ones which are cubic and you look inside them. Yeah. So that was quite discreet as well. You could look inside and nobody would notice that you were taking photos of them because you're not looking at them, and that was very
right. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, there are some sneaky techniques. Like there's even some sneaky cameras where it actually looks like it's pointing that way, but there's a mirror, which actually means you're taking photographs off to the side. All right, I'm going to move on to the theme of today, everybody. Do leave comments if you're there. Say hello. I've got a Facebook user saying hello. Now, I don't know who you are, Facebook user. If you want me to know who you are, you have to go to this page. It's very simple, streamyard.com/Facebook, and you just say yes. You can see my name, and then when you leave a comment, I see who you are. Until then, you will remain a Facebook user, which isn't that fun. Hello, Dorothy, and hello, Facebook user. There we are. Right, so please do leave comments so that I know you're there. So last week's theme was a wonderful idea. I think it was from Iskra, and she gave us a few, and a few of you gave us a few, and it ended up being steps, and this really got a lot of interest. And funnily enough, the picture that I use for the for this day, as you can see here, is steps going down. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the ones that we've got then. So Jackie has got, this was the very first one, I think, that came, and it's from Jackie, and it's a cute little doggy on the stairs. Isn't that nice? What do you think of this photograph, Nazanin?
It's very cute.
Yeah, it's nice. Now the doggy's almost up at. This is a kind of, I'll give some feedback on these as well. I would possibly move him slightly up and slightly off to the right, so he's a tiny bit more in the corner. Not necessarily, but you could move in slightly as well. The stairs.
He's already stuck to the wall. He's already stuck to the wall.
He looks stuck to the wall, but you could actually move the camera, yeah. So you could move him actually higher and to the right in the photograph. But it's not a serious thing. Also, you could maybe make him a bit bigger, although he does look cute, kind of left off on those in the middle of those stairs. It's a really nice one. I like the way the stairs come round like this. It gives a really nice sense of movement to the shot. And you wonder why the poor little fella's stuck on the stairs.
There isn't much surface on the steps.
No.
The surface is very restricted.
Okay, now here's Jackie again. Now she gave us a poser here, and she said, these are very famous steps, but where are they? I mean, that's kind of tough, Jackie, because, they're kind of dark steps
Very
somewhere
dark.
in the world. So that was a bit tough.
No, it's in Paris. You can see the Eiffel Tower. Look.
Yes, but
Here, right.
yes, but it isn't. You know, it's not. It's in Whitby, at Whitby Abbey, and it's where Dracula arrived from Transylvania. Apparently, Count Dracula arrived. It's somewhere in the north of England. So they may be famous steps, but not in my experience. That's pretty good. Yeah, they're quite dark, aren't they? The sun's going down there.
Can't see.
Oh, did I? Okay. Right, now Jackie again. So Jackie put in her 3. Very good. Well done. And these are very nice ones, aren't they? Look how long they are. They're going right the way up to the top there. She said, we always used to call these the cat steps, but usually I walk with a dog, not a cat. Okay. Anecdotal little story there. They are amazing. Really long series of steps going up into the woods by the looks of it. And Jen says they remind her of stairs leading to a magical secret garden. And Alice says, original steps, there is beauty in that. And you captured it. Lovely. In terms of photography, maybe you could put a little bit of contrast in there, make the photo a little bit punchier if you played around with the photo with the colors a little bit, just something to think of. Okay, now this was me giving you 3 examples from my stuff. This is a guy going down towards the River Seine in Paris. May or may not be homeless, but I got a feeling, you know, he's got a huge beard like this and he looks like he might be spending quite a lot of time out in the streets. And there was a kind of metaphor I was going for as well. He's going down the steps, and we have an expression in English, down and out, like, you know, not really maybe having anywhere to live or in a very good situation, not having a job. So I was trying to include that. And there were some nice lines leading down and the nice contrasting lines going across. And then I think I put another couple, didn't I? I'll make sure I'm not missing any here. Yeah. This was one, and I asked a question of people, and I don't think anybody got the answer. There's a famous person on the edge of the steps. Any idea who that might be?
Delacroix?
Nope, I don't think so. It's actually an actor. It's an actor
What?
of old silent movies.
Charlie Chaplin? No.
Yes, I think it's
Yes?
Charlie Chaplin, and he's holding a child, I think. I think there's a famous film by him called The Kid or something like that.
But it's not very distinct. You can't see it very well.
No, it's not. No.
The angle. Our angle isn't very good.
Well, actually, you have to be at this angle looking at the front of the steps in order to see the painting. Because if you're on the steps, you can't see it. That's quite clever, actually. Yeah.
The light is beautiful. What did you... The light, the colors.
I played around with it, I think, afterwards. And yeah, I played around with it a lot, actually. It was at night, and it's on Les Grands Boulevards. Going to yeah, it's nice, huh? Okay,
Beautiful.
get rid of that one. This is another step one that I had. This is actually out of my current project, which started on the 1st of January 2018. So I'm at number 700 and I'm at number 800 today, 800 photos in a row every day. This is one of my all-time favorites. What do you think?
Metro. It's a metro?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you added the blue, or it was blue by itself?
No,
it
wasn't this color. I played around with the colors. One of the things that happens with photography, especially inside, is that an awful lot of the shots end up being towards the orange end of the spectrum, because lighting is often orangey. And I was getting sick of that. All my photographs were just orange. So I thought, right, this time I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to bluify everything. Because if you think,
and the bright yellow is lovely in the middle. The bright yellow, it really hits you in the eye.
Yeah,
it's great.
And I mean, blue and yellow are very, very strong colors together when you get them. So I turned it blue, but not so blue that the yellow turned blue. And I love. There's about 4 or 5 sets of steps going down. You see, there's 1, and there's 2 where the girl is, then there's 3, and there's 4. Then you go down again. It's just amazing.
Which station was it?
can't remember actually. A very deep one by the looks of it. It could have been something like Pyrénées, you know, which is actually up on a hill, and the metro you have to go way down to actually get to the level of the metro. And I put the sort of the hole where the girls go in down in the bottom towards the bottom left, which gives a very, very nice sort of burrowing effect. So there you go, blue for once. Okay, back to your guys' photographs. Do say hello in the comments. What have we got? We've got Yaruska. Hello, Yaruska. Salut. And we've got Dorothy is saying beautiful colours. I'm not sure which one you're referring to. Maybe the Charlie Chaplin with the steps. And it is from Elsa. I think Elsa is a new contributor. Well done, Elsa. Thank you. And it's a classic set of steps. These steps lead to a famous church in Arcachon.
Where?
Arcachon, France. Arcachon. Yeah, and that's in France.
That's
I think. So, yeah, maybe we can meet up, have a coffee together. Yeah, so that's a very classic set of steps, isn't it? Very imposing. You're nice and close, and there's more steps on the side, and then there's other steps further up. So it's quite a classic shot, but you know, there are steps, that's for sure. Okay, what else? So thanks for contributing that, Elsa. Here's another one from Elsa. Now this was a very popular with people. People love this. Everyone was saying, "Oh my God, that's great! Those steps are going down until your feet are actually in the sea, on the sand and in the sea." And I've just noticed actually that there's actually quite a lot of detail up in the top there. There's a whole load of boats and a tiny, tiny sliver of horizon. I hadn't even noticed that. Got a couple of people swimming there. Good, I like it. And also, it's the bottom third of the photograph is steps, and the top 2/3 are mainly the sea, which is a nice proportion. You've also got the barrier, the handrail leading down, and you've got the shadow also leading down. Would you possibly have gone off slightly to the side to see more of the side of the barrier leading down? Yeah, possibly. Possibly go off to the side so you can actually see the edge of the barrier, so it's more of a line heading down. Okay. And we've got a lot of replies to that one. You see all of those replies, people talking about that photograph, very popular. This is Ingrid. And she says, steps and reflections in the Palais des Congrès at Lille.
It's lovely.
I need to get rid of that steamer thing. Get rid of that. Yeah, it's amazing colours, isn't it? So the steps,
reflections are...
Yeah, the steps here, is it reflections or it's real steps? There's reflections of steps up here. Because the thing is, if the subject is steps, it is, yeah, it's kind of strange, isn't it? With all these things going up and down, with the mirror, the panel, the glass panels reflecting stuff, the stuff reflecting here. It's very good. And that's what you should look for. If the subject is steps, then steps really have to hit you in the photograph. And if there isn't enough step in the photograph, if you can manage to reflect the steps, then you're getting more steps for your money, as it were. So thanks, Ingrid, for that. And let's just check that there aren't any other photographs hidden here. Yes, there are, you see, Ingrid. This is a nice little spiral stace going down. She doesn't say where it is. I wonder where that is. So it's going down like this, and then it's turning around again. Dark, mean, and moody somewhere. I mentioned that the Centre Pompidou would be quite good for steps, and some people weren't sure. I think Ingrid wasn't sure what I was talking about. And the Centre Pompidou, the Pompidou Centre, has actually got all of the insides of it outside, including the escalator. It's got like tubes for water, for air, ventilation, for electricity. You don't like it?
Isn't it?
Well, it's good for photographs, put it that way. Okay, have a look at this one. Who's this? Someone called Nazanin sent this one in. Tell us about this photograph, Nazanin.
It's Camden Town, my favorite spot in London, and my favorite singer, Amy Winehouse, all in one.
Yeah, because I think she performed in Camden Town quite a lot in her early days.
And there's a statue of her, a metal statue.
Is that really?
Yes, somewhere in Camden, the same size as a person, and it's very, very, it's very beautiful.
That's fantastic, isn't it? And it's great for graffiti as well. That's it. Yeah, you've got the steps actually going up here and here as well.
Yes, lots of steps everywhere.
Wow,
and I love the canal. I always walk along the canal from my mom's house to Camden, and it's a lovely walk. The Regent's Canal.
For a long time. And here we are again. And this is you.
Revolution, French Revolution. This is near the Bibliothèque François Mitterrand.
I've got to find this. I have to have this in my collection. I can't not have it.
It's a bit like what you showed, with the Charlie Chaplin. According to the angle, you can see the people, the revolutionaries, according to the angle. Yes, like Charlie.
Really great. Yeah, you have to tell me exactly where that is, and I'll go and find it, and it'll become a photograph of the day. Great. But you weren't taking the photograph, I see.
What? No, my friend took a photo of me. That was me. Okay. I cheated.
Wow. Okay, and what else have we got? Okay, so this is Jen. What has Jen got to show us here? Again, do feel free to leave comments if you would like to make comments on any of the photographs that you see. That would be nice, and we'll just say hello. I know some of you said hello already, but some of you are turning up as Facebook user. I don't know who you are. You can say who you are, and then I'll know. And if you do want to mention a photograph or ask a question, you need to tell me which photograph it is, because I might be moved on to another photograph. Okay, Yaruska is saying, hello, Nazanin.
Hi, how are you? She's my Pix pal.
Oh, okay, yeah, they're both in the masterclass, very good. And yes. This is interesting because, so you've got, oh, actually, she said something very, very interesting about this photograph. Now, what exactly was it? She said, I found this shot I took yesterday quite odd. It appears in my shadow that I'm taking a picture up above my head, like this. However, the shot is of the steps below me. It's of the steps below me.
Yes. It's funny, yes. I didn't understand very well either.
Yeah, I can't quite work out what's going on there. So it looks like she's holding the camera up in the air, but in fact the steps are the steps going up and the steps going down.
It's hard to figure out.
And it's good because the shadow is on the steps, so the shadow is chopped up, and you've got two different textures to the steps in the dark shadow and the light bit, and they're both exposed okay. You can see both of them. It's a very interesting shot, and she's also getting funky angles as well, which I can only approve of. Take any angle except straight on, and you've already moved your photograph into slightly more artistic territory. And you can see if she had taken it straight on, you'd have lines like this, you'd have lines like this, and you'd kind of be searching for something a bit different, whereas she's just gone bam, and you've got angles like this, you've got another one like this, and it's good. I like it. It's almost a study in angles. It's moved towards a study in geometry. Lines crashing into lines, little triangles of blue in the top right. There's a triangle, a dark triangle of blue in the bottom left. Bigger one. Very interesting. I mean, this is how do you move away from just snaps? Well, my go-to response to that, and the go-to thing I say is, don't take a photograph like people who take snaps take, which is they see something interesting, they lift the camera to their eye level, they don't do anything special with the camera, and they click. And they have a standard photograph, which is, it's a record shot, but it's nothing special, it's not artistic. And if that's what they want, that's fine. But if they want something a bit more exciting, they've got to do something else than, oh, look, click. So one of those things is turning the camera. And then you move into the territory of people, some people like it and some people don't like it. And that's fantastic. That's what you want. If you want artistic stuff, that's what you want. Because if some people are hating it, that means other people are loving it. But you can't have one without the other. Not really. All right, this is Jen again. This is getting even crazier. What's going on here?
It's a labyrinth.
Yeah, I don't even want to know where she is. It's making me feel a bit queasy, actually. It's like she's underneath a bunch of stairs and she's looking up and she's twisted the lines. It's absolutely impressive, very impressive. And she's actually got the kind of bit that isn't stairs slightly off center. It could have been even more off center, possibly. This little square here. Very interesting. Well done, Jen. She's experimenting a lot, and that's good. This is Jen again. Very graphic. Any comments on that, Leslie?
No, not really.
Very striking. Yeah, I would possibly it needs something. I don't know what it needs. Possibly it needs something because it's such a striking shot, and yet it seems a little bit empty. Yeah, a bit empty. Maybe you need someone sitting on the steps. You know, here, someone just sitting here, looking into the distance, or a dog coming down, or a broken a cup that's fallen over or something. You know, just to kind of break the monotony. Yeah. And I would probably put it here, in this area here. And also I might move this line here slightly off to the left. So there's a third, the third on the left is steps, then there's the line, then the 2/3 on the right is steps, or vice versa, just to get away from this kind of boom boom. But it's, you know, it's an impressive shot. And she hasn't taken it straight on. Another thing you could do is take it absolutely symmetrically with that yellow sort of barrier thing in the middle. That's another thing. Okay, the angle of this shot makes for a nice effect. Almost looks like they are being twisted and squished together in the middle. Yeah, it's great. All righty. Dorothy. So Dorothy has offered us steps going up to this amazing mountain here. Steps to Montségur, Castle in France. Oh, that's an impressive looking castle. Amazing. Oh, they go up here as well.
Where is it?
So they go here. It's in France somewhere. Montségur Castle. Montségur Castle. I think she's taking these. They're taking steps from sort of holiday pics that they had. They didn't take it for this week, which is why they're not totally focusing on the steps. But it's that's pretty amazing. It'd be good to walk up. All right, let's move on. Yaruska has got some steps here. Steps in the Little Prince Park. This is with the statue of the Little Prince, and steps going up. And Yaruska likes playing with some applications. So you see, there's a special effect here, which moves it away from standard boring. Yeah, it's nice. You know, play around with them, choose the ones that you like, and it moves it towards some sort of artistic effect. And you've got red, you've got the yellow. Yaruska again. Can you see the steps here?
Oh, yeah, they lead to nowhere.
Those are lovely. Yeah. Yeah, who said that it leads to nowhere? Because they do. Someone said. Alice said steps to nowhere. Cool. The steps actually go up to a wall. That's funny, isn't it? Bam. Very interesting. And
maybe they turn to the left and we don't see them. Maybe it's just an angle and they go to the left, or maybe they go along the wall.
Yeah, they do look like they go to nowhere though. And that's good because it's really close. You know, if it's the steps take up at least the bottom third of the photograph, which is great. Otherwise, there'd be extraneous stuff which would take away from the theme. And you've got this echo of these two oval brownie shapes up here, which is good. Yeah, very nice. And there's a nice angle here. It goes up like this, and it goes down like that. And there's nice texture in there as well. Okay, yeah, let's go again. Oh, there's any. Okay, multicolored magic steps. Yeah, so she's having fun with her filters and her apps. I don't know what ones she uses. She could tell us at some point if she likes. What application do you use? Do you have a special one that you really like to add all these funny colors? So what do you think of using filters and funny colors like this, Nazanin? You think it's good, or it's awful, or somewhere in between?
Oh, it's very original. You need lots of imagination to choose the right ones. Yes. I don't use special effects very much, but right now I've discovered so many things in my phone that I'm going to really do lots of things with it, and it's very original. It's artistic. It's like a painting, you know. It's more like a painting than a
It's
photo.
about playing around and seeing what you like, and then playing with those. Yeah. There's no right, there's no wrong. Some people don't like filters. Some people love them, but in the end, it's do you like them? That's what it's got to come down to. In anything artistic, it can't be about what other people think is good. You can listen to them, you can get ideas from them, from what other people do, but for goodness sake, everybody, do your thing and have fun with it and produce images that you like. And that's the number one person to please, yourself. That means you're having a good time and you're having a good life taking photographs. And then some people will like them and some people won't. And that's good, remember? It means you're producing stuff that touches people. Great. Good colors. I like the colors. I like them, yeah. Okay, wow, this is amazing. Where did you find this?
I don't even remember where it was. It was in an apartment building, and it was so, it's like a snail.
Was it in Paris?
Yes, somewhere in Paris, but I don't remember where exactly.
Because Paris, they have quite a lot of these very
old buildings, yes.
Tight, old buildings, tight little staircases, not much space for them. They're all kind of, and you look down and
no lifts.
You know, sometimes in some of the old buildings, they squeeze a tiny lift in that hole. Have you seen? Maybe not in the round ones, but in the ones that are kind of going in a sort of square, you see tiny little lifts, which they've managed to squeeze in the middle, in the sort of stairwell.
And it looks a bit like an eye. It looks like an eye as well.
It does, yeah. You mean one of the others?
No, this one. Somebody said it looks like an eye.
Okay, this is Dorothy. Big stairs going down. Amazing to see your wonderful stairs. So exciting. Wonder where I can find mine. Here's one. Yeah, well, you know, walk around, you'll find stairs. Then it's a question of doing something which isn't just, oh, look, stairs, click. That's the thing. Go off to the side, look up from a very low angle, get something strange. Now, you've got a woman, stairs, it's very good. When you've got something which is meant for something, the photo is normally stronger if it's being used for that. So stairs are meant to be walked up and down. So it makes sense that in some of your stairs shots or step shots, you've got some feet, for example. And there's a woman and she's in black. So it's quite a dramatic, image. I would even you could possibly crop it. So it's just the woman and the steps with the woman in the top right of the photograph. Yeah, it would be a good, strong photograph. All right, now Yaruska is playing with a panoramic. I think she's playing with a panoramic effect here, but she's shooting it up and down. Instead of a long photograph going this way, I think she's turned the camera that way and she's doing a panoramic shot up and down. And it's pretty fun. You've got three sections. You've got the bits with the building and the steps, the first third. Then you've got the middle third is blue, and then the top third is after the thing is sticking in. It's kind of white with a bit of foliage or something. It's quite an impressive picture, isn't it? Play around with panoramas if you've got that on your camera. It's really good fun. She calls it the stairway.
I discovered today that I had a panorama, but it was very hard to find. And after your masterclass, I looked and I found it. I was so happy because
well, have fun with that. Yeah, and do it both ways. Try this one, and then try the up and down as well. Especially when you're in a town where you've got huge buildings, Because if you remember the photograph that was in the masterclass where I went from down to up, I had the bottom of my legs and my feet right the way up to the top of a very tall building in the same shot. It's kind of gimmicky, you know, it's not all the time, but it can just be what's necessary to make your photographs jump out. This is 𝗪𝗓𝗃𝗧𝗓 again, and black and white, nice black and white treatment, possibly slightly tiny bit of sepia effect, maybe not purely black and white. And you see this thing here? You see what's happened here? This is because it's the panoramic effect where you have to move the camera, and if you move it in a certain way, it loses track of what's going on and it just fills it with black. 𝗪𝗓𝗃 actually thinks that this is quite pleasing. It's an interesting effect. So there you go. If she likes it, then it's good. But if you want a pure panorama without this sort of stuff coming in, you have to really be very careful to either you do it this way, or you do it this way. You see? But you're not doing this. You do that, you're gonna get bits where there ain't no photo. Great. Now 𝗪𝗓𝗃𝗧𝗓 is great. She's always trying new stuff out. Really good. This is Alice. So many photographs of steps, guys. I need a theme. I need a theme for this week. I don't have one. So if anybody has an idea, hang on. Here's Jen. What does Jen say? Okay. Hi, Sabin Nazanina. I joined in time to have seen one of mine. Okay, fun. I actually found some more steps just today. Yeah, your pictures were amazing, Jen. And was going to post, but got caught up in Nashville traffic. Is there a song about Nashville? Elvis song or something? Well, I'm waiting on the next theme to totally crush it this week while traveling. If you have an idea for a theme, let me know, because I don't have one. I'm leaving it up to you guys, you know. I might have an idea, but we'll see.
Shadows. Shadows?
Yeah.
It's not very original. It's not original, I know.
Well, it's original for this group because we haven't done it yet. So that might be pretty cool.
Shadows and reflections are my two favorite subjects.
Well, you know, why not? Why not? Steps, I just want to make sure it isn't in the masterclass. So stairs and steps up to the top of a man-made hill for sledding when it snows. Alice says, I live in a very flat area. 2 man-made hills and a couple of overpasses. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Now she's got in really close. You know, it's like the bottom of the photograph, the steps, funny sort of steps, but they actually go out of the bottom of the photograph. You know, so there's no wasted space here. It's not like where are the steps? Where are the steps? So you know, one of the tricks of making a photograph strong is having a strong subject. And how do you make a subject strong? Well, one way of doing that is to make it big, which isn't what naturally happens on a standard phone. You take a picture of something, normally it's tiny. And Alice again. One of a few interesting views of an open stairway in a local library. Yeah, look out when you're in train stations, when you're in public buildings. They often have impressive staircases. This was me. Sorry, let's get rid of Jen. Sorry, Jen. This was very strange for me because it's a typical Parisian. I was standing on the platform waiting for a train, and I looked down and I thought, oh, nice sort of descending staircase, like my blue one, if you remember. And then I saw a woman coming and I thought, great. So I sort of discreetly, you know, I'm not really taking a photograph, la 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 la, click, click, click. And I got her, but I wasn't looking at her. I didn't want her to know I was taking a photograph. She comes up and out of the corner of my eye, I'm with my son. She tweaks my son's cheek like this and gives me a wink or a smile. I said, hello, what? And it was my old neighbor in the middle of Paris, finding someone that I knew. So that she immortalized. I like this, you know, look at you've got the reflection. Her head is surrounded by this arch, which is nice. And there's also a reflection of the arch going across there as well. And of course, the handrails and the steps lead you down. There's a human, so it's nice to have some human in a harsh, slightly dehumanizing architecture. And I turned the color from stark white, which it is, of course, into a much more pleasing yellowy orange color. Yeah. There it is.
But how could you focus and take such a picture without her noticing? Because you say that it's complete and you're talking. Well, how can you have to look into it to focus? How can you do this?
No, the phone focuses for you. You see, if I was doing this, blah 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 blah, I could actually be taking your photograph. You see, as I'm talking. So, and she isn't that sharp. Her face isn't sharp. The edges are.
Mm.
You take what you can get. It depends what you're going for. I'm going for kind of, as I always say, something between grim reality and a kind of fantasy dreamland. That's what I want to capture in my photographs. And I have to invent that. And that means moving it away from grim reality towards this kind of dreamland thing. And I thought, yeah, that was a one-off. How are we doing for time? There's so many of these. Okay, right, let's keep going. I'll go a little bit faster now. Alice again. My goodness, it's amazing. Where do you live, Alice? In some sort of wonderland or something? Incredible. These crazy steps everywhere. Check this out. What?
What is that?
Well, very informative, Alice. This is a picture I took on a trip. Okay, yeah. Well, it looks like it's, I don't know what it is. Hotel, maybe? Opera house? Fantastic. As fantastic as it is.
How did she deform it?
Well, I think it is like this. That's what it does, you see. This is a landing, and then it goes up again. A landing, and then it goes up again. I think that's what it is, yeah. But I would always insist, though, that architecture can be amazing. The thing is, it's kind of our duty as creative photographers to add something to what is already amazing. So if it's already amazing, what are you going to add? So it's even more amazing, or that your touch is in there. And that depends on how you frame it. If you want to, do something funny with the camera, if you want to treat it afterwards with some sort of strange filters. I'm always looking, though, for not just a record shot. My best example of that is people who like taking photographs of graffiti. They go to, let's say, Paris, loads of graffiti. They see a graffiti wall. They say, oh, wow, look at that graffiti. And it's the good old, that's interesting. Up to eye level, click. There's no creativity in that whatsoever. It's just a record of somebody else's art. And if that's what you want, fantastic. But it's not creative photography. So creative photography, you've got to add something. Could be an angle, could be a funny lamppost, anything you like. Someone going past, especially someone who has some sort of relationship to the graffiti they're walking past. All of that is what's necessary to move a photograph from a record shot of somebody else's work to a truly creative photograph. And that's what I would say with this. This is absolutely stunning, but it's kind of saying, look how great the architect is. We're not saying that's an amazing photograph. We're saying that's amazing architecture. So just something to think about. And Dorothy, that's good. I like it. I love those colors. How many staircases can you see there?
Many.
1, 2, 3. There's actually 3 that I can see. And I love that treatment. It's so dark, and you've got this lovely texture on the banister there, on the handrail. And look,
and the red hat. The red hat.
It's great. This is great. You see, this has moved it from a kind of vaguely interesting shot to a really good one, because it's got someone in the bottom left using the steps. Steps are to be walked on. Nice if you have someone walking on them. Otherwise, it's just some sort of desolate, barren landscape, sort of post-apocalypse. You've got someone using the steps down in the bottom left with a red hat on. Yeah, I love it. I really like it. It's really dark and moody, isn't it?
Yeah.
And again, you've got this bright sort of rectangle here, which is kind of echoed by those ones there. up in the top left. Interesting shot. Very interesting shot. Why was there another shot there in the comments? What's this? Okay, there was some sort of discussion going on about orange for some reason. All right, so I think we're getting to the end. I hope so, because otherwise we'll run out of time. This again is Jen. Very interesting graphic staircase. This looks like a bit like an eye, doesn't it?
Like an eye, yes, exactly.
Yeah. It really does, because this bit here on the left, it looks like the corner of the eye there. Really interesting. With an interesting backdrop as well. And what's that, a little table or something in the bottom? You could always have someone going down, Jen, you know, someone with their hand on the banister about here. The thing is, though, as soon as you can see who it is, we'll start looking at their face instead of the overall portrait. But it could be interesting to have a human going down if they're not too distracting. Or, on the other hand, they're crazily distracting, like they're wearing bright pink, for example. That could work as well. Then they become more the subject. Otherwise, if the subject is the stairs, you have an anonymous person, like dressed in black or something, with their hand on the handrail. So they're showing that, you know, the stairs are to be used. Not quite as mystical as some I've seen. Found this at the doctor's office. Is it stairs or an eyeball? This is by some guy who takes photographs in Paris. Do you know where this is?
No.
It's in a park which has got lots of ups and downs. And it's a park called le Parc 𝗔𝗣𝗓𝗓 in Paris.
Yes, north of Paris.
And normally I make my photographs really punchy with the colors, and this one I decided to give it a very old-fashioned effect. There's a nice curves coming in towards us. There's a human and a dog. It's very nice. I like it. It's a nice little shot. And then there's some more. This is Paris Metro decorating the steps, trying to make you feel good about having used their wonderful service.
It's great.
Yeah, it's okay, isn't it? It's colourful. This one is rather more gritty street photography. And I always say that Paris is the city of light and dark, and there's definitely two sides. And very often Paris presents me with the less pleasant side. But you know, if you can turn it into something kind of beautiful, you know, there's a lot of people in a lot of difficulty in Paris, and I like to show them regularly in my shots, not necessarily their faces, but I want people to realize that there's the glamorous side, but there's many darker sides of Paris, and I want people to be aware of this. This is what Paris presents me. Whenever I go to Paris, it presents me with plenty of homeless people, as well as nice monuments and interesting, cute streets. So that's what I get, and I take what I get. You know, I take what Paris gives me, and I present it to the world. Okay, there we are. That's it, and that's great because we've been going for about 53 minutes.
57.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are your favourites out of those? Can you remember? Would you like to choose 3 favourites?
The last one was wonderful. The last one.
Which one?
The one in the metro that you just showed.
Yeah, but not mine. Not
the
mine.
last.
Not mine.
Oh, not yours.
No. Some of the others. Can you remember? Which would be your? I
The
like
eye is very good. I like the eye.
this one.
The eye, yes, and the crooked staircase.
Okay. I like this one. I'm going to go for this one.
Yes.
One of my favourites.
No, mine. Oh, yes.
Okay.
The one above it, I like.
Okay.
The one above.
Crooked staircase from Alice. Okay. And what else have we got? Go through these kind of quickly. Stop me if you see one that you really like. I do like that blue one, that long blue one. That's quite good. And the colourful one from 𝗪𝗓𝗏. I like these. I like
And that one, the
steps.
𝗪𝗡𝗓𝗓 in Italy.
Okay. Oh, that's Italy, is it? Okay. Keep going. Any more? Can you give me another one? Well, I like this one. One of the log. Okay, yeah. This one, I like this one a lot. These steps going down to the sea. That's Elsa.
Yeah. And the 𝗟𝗑𝗕𝗕 one is very nice too.
Okay.
The 𝗟𝗑𝗕𝗕.
Which one is that?
The one above.
This one.
That's not 𝗟𝗑𝗕𝗕?
Yeah.
It's 𝗟𝗑𝗕𝗕, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like a mosque, but it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's interesting architecture. And those were mine. And you've got those steps going to the way up into the woods. And you've got little doggy. I like the little doggy. Yeah, I'm going to make that one of mine. Poor little doggy sitting on the stairs. There's a song like that about Kermit the Frog, I think. Sitting here on the stair, neither halfway up nor halfway down, or something like that. Okay, right. So that was it. Fantastic photographs, everybody. Well done. And we need a theme. So are we going to go with Nazanin's theme? Alice says hi.
It's not very original, my theme. It's shadows, but I love it.
Well, okay, well,
but if you have
I missed so much, I'll go back later. Yeah, we looked at all the photos of the steps, Alice, including yours. And Alice says hi, Jen. Okay. And Jen says hi, Alice. Okay. And right, so let's go with shadows. Let's go for it. You know, we haven't had it before. I'm going to keep a list, so we're not going to repeat. But I think shadows is great. It's a very, very big topic. Although, I mean, there are shadows as sort of natural shadows, and then there's man-made shadows. You know, if you put your hand up, you can create a shadow. You can have your shadow going on in front of you. You can have your shadow doing things. We've already seen some photographs, like on doors, where we actually had the shadow hand going to open the door instead of the real one. That was pretty cool. But this time, let's focus precisely on shadows. We're looking for shadow shots. Now, remember, the shadow is the subject. It's not just a landscape with a bit of someone's shadow because the sun's shining. Okay, the topic I want it to be. The topic is shadows. The shadow has to be impressive. That's all I'm saying. Okay, who have we got? All right, got shadows. Jen says, ooh, oh, shadow. I don't know what.
She likes it.
And she says, I'm really excited about that. Yeah, well, it's a great topic. Great. I think it'll be a good one, yeah. I'm already starting to wonder what I've got in my archives. I kind of do it backwards. Think of the theme, and then I go back and see if I've actually got any, and I end up finding that I have.
Yeah, because there's not much sun over here, so you won't have many shadows to photograph.
Well, you can have artificial shadows, artificial light, plenty of those. What did I want to say? Something else very important. I can't remember what it was. We've got this.
The replay. Where's the replay?
I don't know. The replay, well, it'll be on this page. This is immediately recorded and available. I was going to say something really interesting. I can't remember what it was, but let me just say one more thing. And that was that I've started a new thing. And it's called Infinity Squared Collective, the Infinity Squared Collective. Let me just get rid of this Mystery Monday. Right, what on earth is this? Well, it's my latest creative endeavor, and I paint these pictures on squares, 3x3 squares, which makes up one big square. And I've decided to send individual squares, I don't have one, individual squares around the world to people who pay a nominal amount. I like the number 9, so maybe it'll be €9 or something like that. They get their square. And of course, a square in my paintings joins up with 4 other pieces. Exactly. Here's an example. So, for example, if you have this square here, well, it joins up to 4 of those others on the sides. And it also joins up on the corners, but you don't know with which ones. And I will give people who decide to be the proud guardian of a square the possibility to contact other people whose squares touch theirs. And they won't know who they are. They could be on the other side of the world. They could be in the same country. And to contact them and to do some nice gesture. It could just be a friendly hello, or it could be something else. So that's my idea. It's my new thing. I'm calling it Infinity Squared Connective. And my idea is that people who have this square, it will symbolize the fact that we're all connected. In fact, we're all part of the human race. Don't worry too much about country boundaries. We're all, you know, we're all in the same game, and wouldn't it be nice if we remember that a little bit more often? So that's my thing I was going to tell you about, and I have done. That's a website. That's a Facebook page. When I do things, I do things. That's the Facebook group. No members, but it'll come. All right. So I wanted to say got a couple more comments. Let's get rid of that. People still saying hello to each other, which is great. Dorothy says, I had some light reflections like shadows on a picture yesterday. Does that count? Light reflections like shadows? Well, reflections are reflections and shadows are shadows.
Don't mix them up.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're not shadows, they're not shadows. So just look at it and decide, is that a reflection or is it a shadow? If it's a shadow, it works. If it's a reflection, it doesn't. Is it possible to have both at the same time?
Maybe.
It might be. We'll do that on a case-by-case basis. All right, that's an hour. It's been so nice. Well, thank you so much, Nazanin. You know, I think it's the first time someone's come on with me. And I wasn't alone. I'm always alone. So next time, somebody else. I can have more than one person on at the same time. Although
I'll come each time.
It could get a bit chaotic, but we'll see.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right, thank you. Yeah, so thanks everyone. And so I will put the place in the group where you can post your shadows shots right away. And I look forward to seeing them. And I look forward to seeing you next week, hopefully on Monday and not on Tuesday this time.
Great.
Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon. Bye for now. Happy snapping.